Introduction to AWS Amplify Lambda functions. AWS Amplify is a development platform that helps you build scalable mobile and web applications. And one of its key features is the use of Lambda functions, which are serverless compute services that can run code in response to events. In this tutorial, we will explore tips for working with AWS Amplify Lambda functions. Step 1. Understanding the basics. To get started with AWS Amplify Lambda functions, you need to understand the basics of Lambda functions, including how to create and deploy them, as well as how to trigger them using API Gateway and other AWS services. You should also be familiar with the AWS CLI and the Amplify CLI, which provide a set of tools for working with AWS Amplify. Step 2. Choosing the right runtime. When creating a Lambda function, you need to choose the right runtime for your code, such as Node, JS, Python, or Java. The choice of runtime will depend on the programming language you are using and the requirements of your application. You should also consider the size of your code and the dependencies it requires, as these can impact the performance of your Lambda function. Step 3. Handling events and context. Lambda functions are triggered by events, such as API calls or changes to data in a database. When a Lambda function is triggered, it receives an event object that contains information about the event, as well as a context object that provides information about the execution environment. You should handle these objects carefully, as they provide important information for processing the event. Step 4. Implementing error handling. Error handling is critical when working with Lambda functions, as errors can occur due to a variety of reasons, such as network issues or errors in your code. You should implement try-catch blocks to catch and handle errors, and log error messages to CloudWatch logs for debugging purposes. Step 5. Optimizing performance. To optimize the performance of your Lambda function, you should consider factors such as the size of your code, the number of dependencies, and the memory allocation. You should also use caching and other optimization techniques to reduce the execution time of your Lambda function. Best practices. Some best practices for working with AWS Amplify Lambda functions include keeping your code organized and modular, using environment variables to store sensitive information, and monitoring your Lambda function using CloudWatch metrics and logs. You should also test your Lambda function thoroughly to ensure it works as expected. Conclusion. In conclusion, AWS Amplify Lambda functions provide a powerful way to build scalable serverless applications. And by following these tips and best practices, you can optimize the performance and reliability of your Lambda functions. Remember to choose the right runtime, handle events and context carefully, implement error handling, and optimize performance to get the most out of your AWS Amplify Lambda functions.